Well, that's a good sign. So, I'm trying out the game Captain Commando, as suggested to me by Jacular in the comments. Captain Commando for the Super Nintendo. And this seems to be like a beat 'em up game, similar to Streets of Rage or Double Dragon. And it doesn't take very long for the opening loading screen, like the start menu, to go right into the demo. And the first thing I'm noticing when I'm looking at this is that character has really long arms. Like, really lengthy, skinny arms and spinning around. And okay, so this is... Okay, well, there was a noise there? Okay. Mac the Knife. He's unknown age. He's an alien warrior. Okay, so this game has alien warriors in it as a playable character. And then we have another one here when that looks a lot like Earthworm Jim. So that's Captain Commando. But really I think that looks nearly identical to Earthworm Jim. 'Cause it's the blue and white armor and the way that it's composed. And the way that his head is. It looks exactly like Jim. He's got the same color composition with like blue gloves and all of that. So, I don't know. Probably not the greatest of choices. So, stage 3. What is this? Oh, this is still the demo, yeah. So then there's a ninja character. Just a classic ninja character. He's got a sword and runs in that kind of anime pose style sort of thing. And I don't know, there's not too much to say about ninja characters. They're usually pretty cliche. Like, they've got a sword and their face is covered. They've got the headband, or whatever that is. The master of ninjutsu. And then we got the final character, which this one caught me off guard. Baby. So they have a character that is a baby in a robot suit that goes around beating people up. That kind of reminded me a lot of Baby Herman, or Baby Henry, or whatever his name is from, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And it's like, I think that's what they were going for here, because they have, like, a little baby, like a little bald baby, in essentially like a robot stroller going around beating people up. So I would want to say that's probably what they were going for. This is age 2. I don't know about a 2-year-old baby like that. A genius baby who rides on a robot of his own creation. Okay, so he created his own robot. Alright, so when I actually start the game, that's when the music starts up. The whole demo section has no music. The only sound was when it would go to the character's bio screen, and then it would make a little noise of them doing their special move. But there wasn't even a single note of music or sound effects during any of those demos. But now the moment you get to the player select screen, there's music. And it starts you off on Mummy Commando. But I thought this game was called Captain Commando, who seems to be the second character in there. But either way, so we'll go with the first character that's in the selection screen. That's also the first character that they showed in the demo. So, this game's just like any other kind of beat 'em up. I would want to say it's kind of a Ninja Turtles clone, where you have your regular attack, your jump attack, and your special attack that, as I find out later on in this, hurts you if you use it against an enemy. So, kind of typical classic beat 'em up kind of controls and kind of functions in that one. There's also special attacks that you can do by double tapping forward, and also this breakdancing enemy here. When I was playing here, this enemy decided to start breakdancing in front of me or something, so I kind of just let him do his thing. But you can double tap forward and do an attack, or you can double tap forward and then jump and attack, and that will be two different things. One of the things that I kept running into is if you hold the jump and attack button at the same time, it will do the special attack button, which will take up your life. So if you're trying to do jump attacks, you want to be very careful not to press jump and attack at the same time, and that you're separating the two. Otherwise, you might start hurting yourself by doing your special attack. Now, in all these beat 'em up games, you're going to find these random barrel meats and the weapons that you'll be given that will wear away after 2 or 3 hits on an enemy. So you're kind of wondering why you even grabbed it in the first place. And then, as in a lot of these games, you're practically unbeatable until you get swarmed by these enemies. And then that's when, you know, some cheap stuff can start happening and you start getting crowded around on. But I find that the environments in this, they seem to vary fairly well from level to level. It goes from a street to a diner, and then right into the first boss. So the first boss is, I don't know, a big dude with spiky armor. And so this is where I'm using the special move, and I don't even realize at this point that it's actually doing damage to me to use it. And when you die and restart, or when you respawn, all the enemies on the screen will get launched to the sides of the screen. So I'm still using the special move, not realizing that it's hurting me to use it. So I think I end up getting killed twice because of that. Or maybe just the once. But then you beat the boss in the first level, and then you're able to move on to the second level. So when we get to the museum, you get to it's mostly the same enemies, and you don't get to change characters between levels. You only get to change characters when you die, or when you have to continue, when you run out of lives and you have to use one of your credits. So, just like in the Ninja Turtles game, when you continue, you select your character at the top, and then get to continue as the new character that you've selected. So I selected Captain Commando just to try it out. And then you defeat the second boss, which is this spiky-haired guy with a needle gun or some kind of spear gun. And then you move on to the level 3, which is the ninja household or whatever, which introduces a few new enemies. It introduces this, like, cave woman that throws bombs. It introduces this guy that runs at you and throws fireballs at you, and then later on in the level it also introduces these like S&M ladies with tasers. And then finally later on it also introduces ninjas. But once you've gone through swarms and swarms of enemies and you've been playing for minutes of just this one level, then you finally get to fight some ninjas in the ninja level. And then at the end of that there's a little mini boss of a samurai. Hit him a few times, and then you're able to move into the building. Inside the ninja house, I will call it, you'll fight more ninjas of various types, and I found that playing as the ninja in the ninja house was one of the most satisfying moments of actually playing this beat-em-up game. So then finally, when you get to the boss, yeah, you get surrounded by 5 of those little mini-boss guys, and then you fight the boss of the ninja level, which this was also one of the most satisfying fights that I've had in playing this game. So I wasn't sure if there was any sort of special technique you had to do, or if you had to grapple him, or combo him. I wasn't exactly sure how this game really was working, because this was my first time going through this game. But I found out that I got really lucky, because the enemy that spawns with the boss got stuck on the side of the map there, and wasn't able to do anything to help the boss out. So I was able to just move in and just attack the boss without anything to really prevent me from doing that. By the time we get to the circus, it's a circus. I mean, I was expecting there to be like clowns and all sorts of different special circus enemies, But then it's just the same enemies that we've been fighting before for a while. And that really disappointed me, just to fight the same kind of goons over and over again in this new environment. I thought that they could have come up with a new enemy here. So that one I'm not really finding too great. So then I'm trying out the baby in the circus level, where I think kind of looks like Lex Luthor in his green power armor. Just imagine like a little baby Lex Luthor in the power armor. That'd be pretty funny. So the baby kind of, I would want to say, plays... All the characters really play the same. They're not too much different. I would want to say just from the way it's animated, it kind of plays like a, I don't know, like a wrestler character from... Almost like Zangief. It almost kind of felt like playing Zangief. So then you get to the boss of the circus level, which is like a mutant clown or something. And there's this cackling scientist in the background that all of a sudden is introduced into the game. I'm not sure if there's a storyline to this game, but it didn't seem like it was really that clear. So, I don't know, after fighting Blanca for a little bit here from the Mortal Kombat movie, or from the Street Fighter movie, and giving him a few well-timed and placed kicks, the scientist guy will run out, and then we get treated to another level taken right out of Ninja Turtles. So now it's a water level where you get on top of a board, and now you're surfing through the water, just like in the Ninja Turtles game. So I guess this is kind of a staple thing of a lot of beat 'em up games, but I was really surprised to see this. Also, there's these barriers that no matter what you do, you can't get over. I tried jumping, and I couldn't figure out what to do to get around those. But then after you catch up with the scientist, then you get this 30 or 40 second level where you have to beat him up as far as I know, as quickly as possible. I don't know if it was a bonus level where I was supposed to be picking up special items and things, but I just went right for Dr. TW, who now has a name. And there's this time bonus thing, which takes forever. Could the time bonus have been a bit quicker, so it would have been more of a time bonus? Because that countdown with the time bonus is monotonous. Then we get to the aquarium. What kind of new enemies are we going to find here in the aquarium? Same enemies that we've been fighting for the last few levels, repeated into this one. So far, absolutely nothing new has been introduced in this level. Just more of the same, in combinations of these really cheap taser, S&M, I don't know, they kind of look like Stripperella, to be honest. Stripperella and a caveman. An Encino Man. So finally, a new enemy is introduced. These people that are wearing a suit that kind of looks like the Xenomorph from the Aliens movies. And there's this thing in the background, which I don't know what it is. It almost looks like the coronavirus. And then finally we get to the boss, which the boss is two of these spear gun, spiky-haired punk guys. Now, this is as far as I got in the game. I didn't actually beat the game. I got to stage 7, where we fight more ninjas. We just fight lots and lots of ninjas. Endless amounts of ninjas. And when you think you're done with ninjas, and you finally have had enough of fighting any more ninjas, you finally get to move on and fight more of the same enemies that you've been fighting earlier in the game. Oh. So I make my final stand here against these enemies, and then I get taken down, and I get the game over screen. That's not so bad, because it seems that I got second place in the high score thing, but I didn't really care, so I just put AAA, because I wasn't really bothering to put my name in or anything. And so overall, it's an okay beat 'em up game. Pretty standard, pretty cliche. Nothing exciting, nothing really amazing. Captain Commando.